Today's lesson is called Avril Lavigne. The pop-punk princess is back. Hello, everyone. My name is Jeff.
And I'm Roger, and we're continuing to talk about Avril Lavigne, the pop-punk princess. She is back. She has returned with a new album, and we started to talk about her career in our last program. We haven't really had a chance to talk about her new album yet, but hey, she's been famous for a long time, so we've been spending a certain amount of time talking about her history. Of course, she showed this wonderful skill at a young age. She had an incredible singing voice, and she also composed her own songs. She met Shania Twain, and she said, "I'm going to be just like you, Shania." And she used to be a country singer, but I guess later she shifted to rock music, and that's the kind of style that most of us are familiar with.
Yeah, the skateboarding kind of put her on the path to rock music and to punk music and kind of took her away from her country roots. Anyways, yes, Avril Lavigne is back. Now, I never thought that she had gone away. That song, Complicated, has been in my head for years and years and years. So Avril Lavigne, for me, never went away. But yes, it's been 5 years. There's been a 5-year stretch with no new Avril Lavigne songs. It has been tough, but hey, soon she's going to release a new album. And all of us Avril Lavigne super fans will be super, super happy. Anyways, she is back, and we're going to learn that she actually did go away. She literally went away and left the public eye for quite a long time, okay? We're going to learn about that, or start to learn about that, right after this.
Lavigne went on to make 4 more successful albums and play concerts around the world. Then, in 2014, she seemed to vanish from the public eye. It turns out the pop star was combating a severe case of Lyme disease. After what she has called the worst years of her life, she is back on the music scene. Her emotional new single, Head Above Water, expresses how she felt as she lay sick in bed.
各位好，第一部分我们看到单字 combat， 课文中做动词使用，指与点点点对抗或打击。例如 Simon bought some medicine from the pharmacy to combat his sore throat. Simon 在药局买了些药来对付他的喉咙痛。另外 combat 除了可以当动词使用外，还可以当名词，指战斗或搏斗。所以可以说 The politicians decided to settle the argument via hand-to-hand combat. 这群政客决定徒手比武解决争端。
Okay, the time has arrived for us boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, for us to discuss the first part of today's lesson. So her career is rolling now. She got that record contract after she moved to LA. And Lavigne went on to make 4 more successful albums and play concerts around the world. So yes, she released that first album and it was a success. And then she made 4 more albums and they were all successful. And of course, when you record an album and your fans hear your music, hey, they want to see you live and in concert. So of course, she obliged her fans and went on world tours. She played concerts all around the world, not just in Canada, not just the USA, but in Europe and Asia, Africa, you name it, she went there.
There you go. So she released all sorts of albums, 4 albums, all of which were successful. And then she started to tour as well. She played concerts around the world. But like I said during the introduction, there was a period of time where she apparently dropped off the face of the earth, okay? That song, Complicated, was still in my thoughts and in my mind, but Avril Lavigne, she vanished. Yeah, then, in 2014, she seemed to vanish from the public eye. So that means no more touring, no more shows, no more songs, no more albums, no nothing. No one knew where she was. So I guess now she is back in the sense that for a period of time here, she vanished, she went away, she disappeared. Now, why did she vanish? Why did she disappear? Well, it turns out the pop star was combating a severe case of Lyme disease. So apparently up there in Canada, she got bitten by a tick, and she got this disease called Lyme disease, which can make you quite sick. So that's why she vanished from the public eye. It's not because she was tired of her fans or tired of touring or tired of music. She wasn't burned out or anything like that at all. In fact, she was really sick with Lyme disease. Apparently, she had a severe case of Lyme disease. Now, here we have the word severe to talk about. This adjective, severe, is similar to the adjectives extreme or intense or something like that. So not only did she have Lyme disease, she had a really bad case or a really severe case of Lyme disease. She was very, very sick.
Yep, it's a very bad case, and the opposite of that would be mild case. She did not have a mild case of Lyme disease. She had a severe case of Lyme disease. It was very serious, and she needed to be in the hospital and to receive medical attention, probably for many weeks, if not months or years. And then it goes on here to say in the next sentence, after what she has called the worst years of her life, she is back on the music scene. So she suffered from this disease, and because of Lyme disease, she had to stop singing for a long time.
Yes, she got really sick with Lyme disease. And yes, Lyme disease, you get that by being bitten by a tick, one of those blood-sucking parasitic organisms that, yes, you can get while walking through the forest without proper protection on. Yes, if you're going to go hiking, especially in North America, up north there in the woods, make sure that you cover yourself properly, or you can get a tick. And even though getting bitten by a tick doesn't mean you're going to get Lyme disease, you are running the risk if you don't cover yourself and protect yourself when you walk out in the woods in North America there. Anyways, okay, Avril Lavigne got a terrible case of Lyme disease, and for this reason, she vanished from the public eye. Then, after what she has called the worst years of her life, she is now back on the music scene. So there you go. She is back and better than ever. She went through this, but you know what? What doesn't kill you will only make you stronger. And yes, her new emotional new single, I should say, Head Above Water, expresses how she felt as she lay sick in bed. And boy, is this ever a great song. I don't know if it's worth it to get Lyme disease to produce a song like this, but it's almost worth it. This song is just that good, just that emotional. By the way, if something is emotional, it's dramatic, okay? It affects your feelings and your emotions, hence the word emotional. Yes, the word emotional, it's an adjective. It means having to do with your feelings or your emotions. Emotional is the adjective, emotion is the noun.
I could say, for example, I felt very emotional when I visited the grave of my grandfather. I never met him before, but when I went to his grave, I got quite emotional and couldn't talk to people. I almost cried and things like that, as an example. But in any case, this is her emotional new single. Of course, she's talking about something very close to her heart. Maybe almost dying from Lyme disease. If that's not something that is emotional, I don't know what is. Okay, that brings us to the end of the first part of our lesson. Let's move on now to the next part and listen to it first.
Explaining the origins of the song, Lavigne said, "One night, I thought I was dying, and I had accepted that I was going to die. My mom lay in bed and held me. I felt like I was drowning. At that moment, inspiration flowed through her, and she began songwriting again." Even before Lavigne fell ill, she had created the Avril Lavigne Foundation to help children and teenagers dealing with disabilities or serious illnesses. Her most recent effort was a charitable t-shirt sale, the profits from which will go toward a grant program for those who can't afford Lyme disease treatments.
第二部分我们看到的名词 songwriting 指词曲创作，像是 fans of this band like not only their voice but also their songwriting。这个乐团的粉丝们不仅喜欢他们的声音，还喜欢他们的词曲创作。接着我们看到的单字是 disability， 这个字是名词，指残疾或残障。例如 Gary has a disability that makes it difficult for him to walk。 Gary 的残疾让他不良于行。再来，我们看到形容词 charitable， 指慈善的或仁慈的。举例来说 Dan gave generously to a charitable organization. Dan 慷慨地捐献给一个慈善机构。另外补充 charitable 的名词 charity， C-H-A-R-I-T-Y charity 有慈善团体或机构或慈善之意，所以可以说 That school organized a charity event to help orphans. 那所学校筹办了一场慈善活动来帮助孤儿。
Okay, Avril Lavigne is back. Okay, she's back and she's better than ever. Okay, now, when she was gone for those Lyme disease, she had to go through one ordeal after another. She was very, very sick for a very long time, and at some points during her disease here, she was close to death. Yes, you heard me right. She had brushes with death while she battled Lyme disease. Anyways, she went through this, okay? She went through this period of time where she was very sick with Lyme disease, and you know what? On the other end, she emerged a better, stronger person, and she also had a new single. Yes, this single, Head Above Water, it expresses how she felt while she laid in bed there while she was sick. And explaining the origins of the song, Lavigne said, "One night, I thought I was dying, and I had accepted that I was going to die." Do you hear this, Roger? This is emotional stuff. This is hard-hitting stuff. She thought that she was going to die, and she accepted it. She thought, you know what? I am going to die. These might be my final moments on planet Earth.
We all pretty much know that our days are numbered on planet Earth, but we just don't want to think about it. That's something we need to worry about when we're 80 years old or something like that. But here, she had to face death face to face, and she thought, wow, this is really the end. I'm about to go 6 feet under. So yes, indeed, she got very emotional about that, and she was inspired to write this song. She really thought she was a goner. She goes on to say, my mom lay in bed and held me. So she was there with her mother. No, she's not out at a big concert with thousands of fans. She's there sick in bed. Her mother's with her. And she goes on to say, I felt like I was drowning, which means you're in the water and you can't swim and water gets into your lungs and you die. That's what drowning is. She felt that that's what was happening to her.
There you go. She thought she was going to die. She had resigned herself to death. She felt like she was drowning, which sounds really dramatic and terrible. But then something happened. Something good happened. At that moment, inspiration flowed through her, and she began songwriting again. So yes, when you're sick in bed with Lyme disease, it's pretty hard to write music, okay? But here, she has this brush with death, and she says, you know what? I've got to start writing music again. And yes, she was inspired to do so. She was inspired to start songwriting again.
Songwriting, of course, that's when you write songs, which she did herself. Now, moving on here, it says, even before Lavigne fell ill, or even before she got sick, she had created the Avril Lavigne Foundation to help children and teenagers dealing with disabilities or serious illnesses. Of course, a lot of people do this when they get rich and successful. They set up these foundations to help people who are less fortunate. In this particular case, she had established or set up the Avril Lavigne Foundation, a non-profit organization, and it's designed to help children and also teenagers, people who are 13, 14, 15, etc. They need to deal with disabilities or serious illnesses. A disability would be being deaf or being paralyzed or something like that.
Anyways, her most recent effort was a charitable t-shirt sale, the profits from which will go toward a grant program for those who can't afford Lyme disease treatments. Okay, so she created this foundation, and you know what? She wants to do things, okay? And close to her heart is getting rid of Lyme disease, or at least helping people out who have Lyme disease and who can't afford to get treatment for Lyme disease. And yes, here she's selling t-shirts, and yes, if she makes any profits from selling those t-shirts, she's going to give that money away. the profits are going to go towards a grant program. Now, here we have the word grant. Here, a grant is some money, okay? A grant is money. It's money given out by a government or maybe some organization like the Avril Lavigne Foundation. It's this money that's given out that is meant to serve a specific purpose. So this foundation is going to collect this money, and then this foundation is going to make sure that this money gets the people who need it, these people who can't afford Lyme disease treatments. All right, folks, with that, it is time for us to take a break, but don't go away. When we come back, we're going to wrap up our article on Avril Lavigne.
After making it through the toughest time in her life, Avril Lavigne has turned her battle into music that she's proud of. Her long-awaited return has fans around the world bursting with excitement.
第三部分我们看到一个片语 make it 表示度过熬过，后面常常接上 through 加名词，指经历病痛或灾难幸存或顺利度过点点点。举例来说 Diet camp is difficult, but the real losers who make it through are the winners. 减肥营相当艰辛，但真正能减重熬过来的才是赢家。另外 make it 也有成功的意思，所以我们可以说Justine didn't give up on her goals, and now she's made it. Justine 没有放弃目标，现在成功达成了。另外，若在 make it 后面加上介系词 to 加地点或目的地，则表示及时抵达或赶上。例如 We didn't make it to the airport on time and ended up missing our flight. 我们没有准时到达机场，结果错过了我们的班机。
Here's the final part of our lesson, everybody, so let's get to it. It begins by saying, after making it through the toughest time in her life, Avril Lavigne has turned her battle into music that she's proud of. So here we've got a phrase, to make it through something. In this particular case, it means you survived a difficult time in your life, or you got through a difficult situation, like you were on a ship at sea or something, and a storm came up, and you could say, hey, we made it through the storm, we returned to port, and everybody's okay. So here, of course, she survived this very difficult, this very tough time in her life. She made it through. She survived. She fought the disease. She's back to perfect health, and she's able to perform again. And again, we're describing this as the toughest time of her life. Tough here just means difficult.
Yeah, toughest. It means the most difficult or the most challenging. So here, yeah, she definitely survived or endured, or she made it through the toughest time in her life. Remember, folks, this is not just one small thing. Oh, she had Lyme disease, big deal. Remember, she was sick for 5 years or so. That is tough. That is challenging. Yes, that could be the toughest time in anyone's life. Anyways, moving on, the next sentence says, her long-awaited return has fans around the world bursting with excitement. So she's back. Avril Lavigne has turned her battle with Lyme disease into music that she's proud of. And yes, she's better than ever. And her fans around the world, myself included, they're bursting with excitement. That being said, Avril Lavigne, for me, never really left. That song, Complicated, is still in my head as we speak. But yes, fans around the world are super excited. They are bursting with excitement. Here we have this phrase, bursting with. That means filled with to a great extent, filled with to the point of overflow, or filled with to the point where an explosion, a metaphorical explosion, is metaphorically possible.
If your kid gets into Harvard or Stanford, you might be bursting with pride for your child. So here, of course, she was bursting with excitement, or at least her fans were bursting with excitement. So it's going to be a real cool one. It's going to be a big one. See if you can get your tickets. And hopefully she'll come to Taiwan and give a concert as well. Okay, that brings us to the end of our explanation. We're now going to listen to our Chinese teacher.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。课文一开始提到 Levine went on to make 4 more successful albums and play concerts around the world. 艾薇儿继续又制作了4张成功的专辑，并在世界各地举办演唱会。那句子里面这个 play concert， 当我们说 play a concert 就表示举办演唱会。那这边帮同学们来补充片语动词 go on 的用法。第一种呢，你可以在 go on 的后面接不定词，也就是接 to 加原形动词，或者是用 go on to 加名词。这表示说，在完成某件事之后呢，你继续接着去做另外一件事情。例如 He introduced himself and went on to show us around the office. 他先自我介绍，接着带我们四处参观办公室。所以是先自我介绍，然后接着去做另外一件事，就是带我们参观办公室嘛。好，那第二种用法呢，是用 go on 加上动名词，或者是用 go on 加 with 加名词。这时候是表达继续做你之前在做的事情，像是 She went on working after hanging up the phone. 她挂完电话之后有继续工作，这表示她讲电话之前呢，她在工作，挂完电话之后又继续工作。好，接着来看课文第一部分的第3句提到，结果是这位流行歌手啊，当时正在跟严重的莱姆病奋战。好，句子里面用到片语 turn out， 它是指结果发现怎么样，最后结局是怎么样。当我们用 it turns out that 主词加动词，就可以用来表达某件事情的发展啊，或是结果出乎意料。那么课文里面它是把 that 省略掉。例如 It turns out that the presentation went pretty well. 结果那一次上台报告还挺顺利的嘛，那就表示你可能原本是预期这个报告不会很顺。好，另外 turn out 它也有现身出席的意思，那后面可以接 for 加上活动，或者是接不定词。例如 Hundreds of people turned out for the event. 有上百个人来参加这个活动。接着读到课文第2部分的最后一句 Her most recent effort was a charitable t-shirt sale, the profits from which will go toward a grant program for those who can't afford Lyme disease treatments. 他最近的活动是义卖 T-shirt， 义卖所得将会捐给一个给无法负担莱姆病治疗者的补助计划。好，句子里面的 which 就是指前面提到的 a charitable T-shirt sale， 所以说 the profits from which 就表示来自义卖 T-shirt 的所得。那这边再补充一个句型叫做 those who 加上动词， those who 加动词就表示凡是怎么样的人，那些怎么样的人，其中的 those 是指 those people 那些人。那么后面我们再接 who 引导形容词子句来修饰先行词 those， 表示那些怎么样怎么样的人。像课文里面他说的这个 those who can't afford Lyme disease treatments 就表示那些无法负担莱姆病治疗的人。好，那我们来造个例句。Speed walking is a great form of exercise for those who just want to stay fit. 对于那些只想要保持健康的人来说，快走是一个很棒的运动。那句子里面的 those who just want to stay fit 就表示那些只想要保持健康的人。好，以上是今天重点整理，我们回顾今天单字吧。
Combat. The country is combating pollution with new measures that will take effect next year. Severe. Doctors are still waiting to see if the patient will fully recover from a severe head injury. Emotional. The emotional video of a soldier returning from war and seeing his family again was extremely popular online. Disability. If someone has a learning disability, it doesn't mean they aren't intelligent. It means their brain has trouble processing certain information. Grant. The organization offers grants to those who wish to research new types of clean energy. Tough. It's a tough choice, but I trust you to make the right decision.
Discussion Starter starts now!
It's time now for our discussion starter. We've got a question that we'd like to discuss here. How do you think Levine's experience with Lyme disease will change her music from now on?
Roger, I'm glad you asked. I think her music will become deeper and deeper. Remember, she almost died. When people almost die, they tend to reflect on things, and for that reason, they become deeper, more thoughtful people.
Well, you know, when you are sick like that and you are about to die, well, you probably realize that you better prepare for the afterlife. So I think she will focus more on religion in her music in the future. I think she's going to find the Lord.
Okay, everyone. With that, today's article is now complete. But, as always, we sure hope that you guys have enjoyed reading along with us. Anyways, I'm Jeff.
I am Roger.
See you next time.